I took a Cardinal napkin from my big pack of Craftkins. It is gorgeous, and a little wood mason jar from Dollar Tree and a canvas, and I made the cutest decor. My name is Amanda with Manda Panda Projects, and I hope that you are following along because we got some cute crafts coming up, including today's. So I took this little mason jar and I just painted the entire thing white. We're going to decoupage the napkin to the front of this, so we want to make sure it's white underneath so the napkin shows up nice and vibrant. So we have this gorgeous Cardinal napkin. It's for my napkin subscription, which is the big pack of Craftkins. If you want to get on the wait list, let me know in the comments below. Comment Craftkins, and I will send it to your messenger. If you're on YouTube, I will put it in the comments for you. So I separated the plies of the napkin, got it all the way down to one ply, and then I added a nice good layer of Mod Podge onto my mason jar, and then I just laid the napkin on top and smoothed out as many of the wrinkles as I possibly could. But I don't stress about wrinkles. I embrace them. I like it. It makes it look worn and distressed, and just embrace your wrinkles. All right, so once we had that all down and dried with our heat gun, I took my gator sander and I just sanded all the excess napkin off from around the edges. And for the top of the mason jar, we are going to use a little piece of red fabric with these little gold flecks. I got this fabric at Joann's. Got it for Christmas, but it goes perfect for this little winter cardinal craft. So I just glued it around the top, glued it around the sides there. Once I had it glued down, I took a piece of twine. I just tied it right around to make it kind of look like, you know, the fabric was tied to the top. I had to glue that down a little bit more in the back there because it kept popping up on me. All right, so now that I got that all done, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to grunge it up a little bit with my Kiehl's dark wax. You could use like a Waverly antique wax. I just went all around the edges, concentrated like on the corners. I did a little bit on the inside. Once I was happy with that, I'm going to move on to my background. So this is an 8x10 stretch canvas from Dollar Tree. I used some scrapbook paper that I've had in my stash for like literal years, probably from Hobby Lobby. I just traced that onto the canvas. I cut that out. I tortured myself over what scrapbook paper to use. So yeah, I think I'm happy with this one though. All right, so after I got that cut out, I just Mod Podged that to the front of my canvas. I had to use a good, nice thick layer of Mod Podge to get that to really stick on there. So I dried it up and then sanded a little bit of the excess off. There wasn't really much excess, but I wanted it to go seamlessly with the canvas. I didn't want you to see like a straight edge. So I just sanded it right in there so it looks like the canvas was made like that. So I took these little flowers. These are from Hobby Lobby, left over from another project that I did. I just cut a little pieces of greenery. I cut the little flowers up and I arranged them as best that I could in the top of this mason jar here. Now my alarm went off and the camera actually stopped recording right as I glued the mason jar down. So it cuts right here to the full bouquet. I guess you'd call it bouquet. But all I did was just put hot glue on the back of the mason jar. I left the flowers in place and then I glued it down and smashed them down real good and they stayed in place perfectly. So now I just had to do something with the edges. And instead of painting them, I decided to rub the edges with some antique gold rub and buff. I didn't do like a full coverage. I just kind of brushed it on there and I really like how it turned out. It looks really good. It's subtle, but it's better than just like a straight white edge. And now for the bow, I am using some fabric, some red, some coffee stained muslin, a little bit of like a brown plaid that matched perfectly. And I'm just using my bow dabra and making a cute little messy fabric bow here. So you don't need a bow dabra to make a bow. You can use any kind of bow. It can be a messy bow, a cute bow, a ribbon bow. I usually like fabric bows. I like to mix in ribbon sometimes. And then I top my bow off with some twine. And then here, my twine broke as I was tying it. So I edited it out. I had to string twine back through the two sides of my bow dabra to get it on there, but it all worked out in the end. My bow was a little bit too long, so I just kind of trimmed up some of the ends here so that you could see the napkin and see the cardinals. I glued that down. I wanted to add a tag, but my tag was too big. It was like taking over, so I just cut the tag down. I went around it like 4 times and finally got it really, really small. And then I had to grunge it up and kind of fold it and crumple it and make it look a little bit of old and distressed because it was like stark white. So I again took my Kiehl's dark wax and a little finger dauber. You can get those on like Temu or Amazon, and just, you know, grunged it up. So then I used stamps. They're both from Dollar Tree. The first one was like a old like cursive writing. I did that very lightly. And the second one was a cardinal. I did that much darker. It was a bird. I'm calling it a cardinal. I did that much darker and I glued it to the front with a little button. And then for a hanger, I did a thick jute twine hanger. I tied the ends in a knot and frayed the edges, and then I glued those to the front of my sign rather than gluing it to the back because it like needed something. I was gonna add something to the corners, and I don't know, there's a million more things I felt like this needed, but once I put the hanger on it, I felt like it looked good. So here it is all done. It's a little bit dark here because I didn't finish till almost 5 p.m., but you can see it in all its glory. I love how this turned out. I just love cardinals. They're so special. Make sure that you share this video with a friend and let me know what